1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2. Origin Continent. Volume 8. The Battle of Yulan City. Chapter 335. After the Battle. 30th of Volume 8. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Inside Yulan City, 3 legions of low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms had fallen into despair under the pressure of the formation. They were dying in batches under invisible curse-based techniques. Once the chaotic mist eroded and broke through their protective layers, the casualties became even more severe. No. God Emperor Luo Feng, have mercy. We only wanted to survive. Spare us. Having lost even the ability to resist, the low-level Xuanhuan beings began begging for their lives one by one. But Luo Feng, watching this scene, didn't hesitate in the slightest. Since the days of the original universe, Luo Feng had experienced countless wars between races. Pleas from enemies like these could never shake his resolve. Why should I spare you, when you didn't spared over 16 million practitioners who died? Luo Feng thought of those practitioners who were slaughtered without any power to resist. These naturally born Xuanhuan lifeforms are born free from the cage of limitations. Luo Feng silently sighed. Even if they're just low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms, forming a few legions is enough for them to slaughter practitioners at will. Practitioners are generally weaker than naturally born Xuanhuan lifeforms. Even the ultra-limit level Xuanhuan lifeforms are weaker than the naturally born Xuanhuan lifeforms. Senior Yuan and Senior Jin are standing at the front lines, shielding the entire practitioners' faction from the storm. No need to think too much. I haven't even broken out of the cage myself. What's the use of thinking so much? Luo Feng mocked himself with a bitter smile. With a flip of his hand, he collected the corpses of the completely annihilated low-level Xuanhuan lifeform legions before him. I am still too weak now. Any high-level Xuanhuan lifeform could seriously contaminate me with just a glance, like what happened with Palace Master Yuanxiang. I am still far too weak. Even though some elders watching Luo Feng collect the corpses of the 3 legions felt some envy, none dared to voice any objection. Just now, the City Lord's formation had surged in power so fiercely that even these low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms couldn't escape. The City Lord's formation alone is several times stronger than what we 300 elders could achieve together. Even with 1,000 elders, we probably still couldn't match the City Lord. These elders were well aware. In cities like Yulan City, the core formation layers contained 1,000 open positions, including the City Lord, Palace Masters, and Elders. So the number of Elder slots is capped at around 900. Of course, the resources and benefits of a single city couldn't attract that many Elders anyway. If there were too many Elders, the share each received would be too small. Among the 35 cities of the 9 Rivers Holy Realm, aside from Palace Master Yuanxiang, there were only 2 others who had mastered 2 semi-Xuanhuan level Daos, and they rarely acted, often just leaving clones behind to oversee things. After collecting the corpses from the 3 low-level Xuanhuan legions, Luo Feng made a quick estimate of their value and couldn't help but be amazed. At this level, the benefits of holding a City Lord position really don't mean much anymore. Back to Yulan City, though the City Lord does get the most resources, would someone like Palace Master Yuanxiang even care? At his peak, Palace Master Yuanxiang often hunted ultra-limit level Xuanhuan lifeforms and perfection stage god emperors. Over countless ages, his resources had accumulated into vast wealth, far beyond that of Palace Master Weiyang or Palace Master Gai. Anyone on the same level as Palace Master Yuanxiang was immensely wealthy. Seeing Luo Feng grow incredibly rich from the war spoils of Yulan City, they quickly realized the city's share of resources held little appeal. In the world of practitioners, a difference in strength means a world of difference in ability to gain resources. Luo Feng better understood Palace Master Yuanxiang's mindset. The formation of Yulan City slowly dissipated, and the chaotic mist in the skies also vanished without a trace. As the war over, the practitioners inside the city were uneasy. Through their formation covered the caves, they cautiously observed in all directions yet could no longer see any sign of low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms. It seems to be over. There was no more major conflict within the city. Emperor Fu and the other 2 were also watching when suddenly, a voice echoed through every corner of Yulan City. I am Luo Feng, the new City Lord of Yulan City. From this moment on, all practitioners may freely leave their cave dwellings. Everything in Yulan City is returning to normal. There is no need to fear the low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms anymore. Just a few simple words, yet they echoed across the entire city, stirring excitement among the practitioners. Victory. The war was won. Luo Feng, City Lord of Yulan City. Our city never had a City Lord before. Now we do. The practitioners celebrated joyfully, while also feeling curious. Lord Yuanxiang, as the city's founder, had never officially taken the title of City Lord due to the severe contamination of his soul. He had long since quietly put out word that a new city lord needed to be chosen for Yulan City. That was why Palace Master Wei Yong had been so ambitious. No matter who becomes city lord, as long as they can protect Yulan City, that's good enough. Many practitioners walked out of their cave dwellings. High above the city, the multicolored formation barriers still shimmered, with a gentle rain falling. The soft rain seemed to wash away the fear and madness from the city, restoring calm. We're still alive. The city may have been breached, but we still won and we survived. Many practitioners were overwhelmed with emotion. They all understood under such circumstances, with the city breached, to suffer so few casualties was nothing short of miraculous. This new city lord was truly extraordinary. I wonder what kind of strength this city lord Luo Feng had before all this. Many practitioners were curious. They didn't know the details of the war, nor Luo Feng's actual strength. But at a critical moment, he took on the city lord's position and protected the majority of Yulan City's practitioners. Naturally, they were grateful and supported their new city lord. Life in Yulan City began to return to normal. Under the control of the elders, Hall, the areas damaged by the war were already being restored. This war was stirred up by those ultra-limit level beings. Luo Feng's most powerful clone had already quietly left the city. When the 4 ultra-limit level beings escaped earlier, Luo Feng had long arranged for an clone to follow them from afar. Now, it was time to harvest, one by one. Inside the Elder Hall of Yulan City, Luo Feng sat in the main seat, with the Palace Master Yuanxiang seated beside him. The surrounding elders all looked quite uplifted. The outcome of this battle had left them thoroughly satisfied. City Lord. Among the group of elders, a woman-like figure known as the Lord of the Insect Nest stepped forward. Lord of the Insect Nest. Luo Feng looked at her. He was already well informed about her, and naturally, Luo Feng disliked her. She was one of those apocalyptic demon types, exactly the kind Luo Feng believed should be killed. Unfortunately, the other party was a powerhouse from the origin world, and Luo Feng couldn't truly kill her completely. City Lord. The Lord of the Insect Nest said softly, I know I have offended you in the past. I also understand that my type of cultivation is something you deeply disapprove of. I am fully aware of that. I did my utmost to defend the city during this war. I dared not slack in the slightest. All of my resources in Yulan City I willingly offer them to you, City Lord. As for myself, I will permanently withdraw from the 9 Rivers Holy Realm. She smiled faintly, and as she finished speaking, her figure naturally dissipated. All of her clones within the 9 Rivers Holy Realm self-erased. She took none of her treasures or resources with her. Luo Feng was slightly surprised watching this scene unfold. The Lord of the Insect Nest had devoured an untold number of souls. Her cultivation path was indeed wicked and terrifying, something Luo Feng detested. But now, not only had she obediently defended the city with all her strength, she also voluntarily gave everything up and left the 9 Rivers Holy Realm entirely. Luo Feng couldn't help but admire her decisiveness. To have become such a terrifying figure, the Lord of the Insect Nest was clearly no ordinary being. Luo Feng pondered. City Lord, I too am willing to offer all my resources in Yulan City to you. I will also permanently leave the 9 Rivers Holy Realm. The master of the Wanying Pavilion slightly bowed. Meeting the City Lord was my good fortune. I shall also permanently leave the 9 Rivers Holy Realm. The Lord of the Guifeng rose and gave a small bow. I believe the City Lord doesn't wish to see raiding factions remain in Yulan City. Both the Master of the Wanying Pavilion and the Lord of the Guifeng chose to self-erase their clones and left the 9 Rivers Holy Realm forever. At their level, it only took a simple observation to understand Luo Feng's nature. When Luo Feng served as the commander of the Zuntian Palace, he never oppressed practitioners. Even during the defense of the city, he gave his all to protect as many as possible. A city lord with such a disposition could never tolerate raiding factions. Forget the other two, but the Lord of the Guifeng still had great potential, Palace Master Yuanxiang said as he observed. The Lord of the Guifeng had already become more restrained in its actions. Palace Master Yuanxiang and Luo Feng had different personalities. Palace Master Yuanxiang could tolerate those demon-like figures, and even the plundering practitioners. Practitioners come from different worlds and have varied backgrounds, the Palace Master Yuanxiang said. Some worlds force practitioners down a demonic path. It's better to be tolerant of different types, since the number of practitioners is massive. He looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng simply smiled and replied, a massive number. I can't manage them all. But within Yulan City, there's no need for plunderers and thieves to exist. His strength may be limited, but within the scope of his control, he would do what needed to be done. Those who deserved to die would die. Those who should be expelled would be expelled. If their original world forced them into demonic paths, that's fine. But the 9 Rivers Holy Realm didn't. Since Luo Feng had taken on the role of City Lord, such forces would not be allowed within his city. His words were clearly heard by all the surrounding elders. They exchanged glances, each one was aware that Luo Feng's influence would far surpass that of the previous two palace masters. Because he alone could annihilate any opposition within the city. So with just one sentence, Luo Feng effectively declared that plundering factions would no longer have a place to survive in Yulan City. This Luo City Lord has a much stronger temper than the previous three palace masters, they thought. The previous three palace masters always had to take the elders into account. But this Luo City Lord, despite his seemingly kind demeanor, once he decides something, no elder can oppose him. From just a few words, they could feel his unstoppable will. "You're much more strong-willed than I am," said the palace master Yuanxiang approvingly. "But individual strength still has its limits. Even if you break free of the cage, it's hard to change much." Luo Feng just smiled, saying nothing more. Limited individual strength. That only meant your cultivation isn't strong enough yet. Oh, that's right. The palace master Yuanxiang suddenly recalled something. This time, I asked the Dark Holy Realm for reinforcements. They sent a small cultivation squad. They're still on the way. I need to contact them. Only a few breaths passed. They've already entered the Nine Rivers Holy Realm. The palace master Yuanxiang looked up in surprise at Luo Feng. They're heading toward Yulan City now. I estimate they'll arrive in just over half a day. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at Mittel World 1 YouTube channel.